Vegan, because we are not bloodthirsty savages.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
We know that milk protein increases something called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, and that makes tumors grow. That makes things grow.
Continue watching to find out more.
Curious viewers, my name is Taina. If you visit the pristine kingdom of Tonga, you may be greeted with Fefe Hake. That means, how are you in Tongan, one of the nation's languages. The natives wish that each day be one of inspiration and wonder for you. Welcome to our show titled Dr. Debra Shapiro, Vegan, Champion of Women's Health, Part 2 of 3. Dr. Shapiro is a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist and has been practicing medicine for nearly 25 years. Having been constantly reminded by those struggling with chronic illnesses that are often reversible and lifestyle-related, Dr. Shapiro broadened her expertise by advancing her knowledge in plant-based nutrition and obtained a certificate in the area through the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies and D. Cornell. Apart from helping patients as a specialized surgeon, Dr. Shapiro became a vegan lifestyle coach and educator so that she could teach people the skills to help themselves through adopting a healthy vegan lifestyle. Dr. Shapiro also completed the Ruby course for whole plant foods cooking so she could guide her patients through the transition to a healthier and happier life. Furthermore, she is a diplomate of the American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. In our previous episode with Dr. Shapiro, we learned about the health benefits of whole soy products to women. Today, we will find why dairy products are not good for our health. Osteoporosis is a disease that is marked by reduced bone density. In the United States, 50% of women and 25% of men will experience an osteoporosis-related fracture in their lifetime. For generations, we've been taught that milk strengthens bones and helps prevent the condition. But does the scientific evidence really back that up?
Yes, another fallacy. And we've seen this over and over again in very large studies, that milk does not prevent osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is not a disease of calcium deficiency. It's a disease really of disuse. Right? You need to pound your bones to make them strong. You do need adequate calcium, absolutely. But the calcium from cow's milk is not going to be helpful. And we know this because we've done studies. There was a very large study from Sweden that looked at over 100,000 people. And they actually found that when women had more than 3 milk products a day, they had more osteoporosis, more fractures, and more death from all-cause, higher mortality, all-cause mortality, than when they had less than 1 milk product a day. So milk absolutely does not do a body good. It seems to be a very acidic protein, which causes you to lose more calcium in your urine than calcium coming from plants.
How much calcium should we be getting daily, and what are good sources? Dr. Shapiro weighs in.
I would really try to get close to 1,000 milligrams of calcium a day. And you get calcium from low oxalate greens and legumes. And things like almonds and figs have calcium, and sesame seeds and tahini have calcium. But it's really the low oxalate greens, things like kale and collard greens, that have much more calcium.
Apart from making bones become more brittle, milk is dangerous for a number of other reasons, chiefly because it contains a protein called casein.
the casein gets turned in our body, this is the protein again, to be something called casomorphins. And casomorphins are short little chemicals, but they act like morphine in your brain. And so you actually are physically addicted. So I know so many people who say, I could never live without cheese. I could never give up cheese. I might have been one of those people actually a long time ago. But that's because you are physically addicted. And I remember eating pizza and just, there's a way that you just love that gooiness. And you think it's the gooiness, but it isn't. It's the casomorphins. And you actually are chemically addicted to cheese because of the casomorphins.
In addition to the addictive properties of casomorphins, Dr. Shapiro elaborates more on what harms milk can do to our body.
We know that milk protein increases something called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, and that makes tumors grow. That makes things grow. The other hormone that's in the protein that is accelerated by that milk protein is something called mTOR, mammalian target of rapamycin, mTOR. This is the enzyme of aging, and it makes things grow, and which might be fine when you're a baby and you have it from your own mother's milk, but when you get it from a cow's milk, it makes things grow and it makes you age. So there's absolutely no benefit to this at all.
Lactose intolerance is a condition marked by bloating, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps, and occurs after eating or drinking dairy products.
It's an interesting thing that so many people are drinking dairy because all over the world, most people actually cannot digest that lactose, that milk sugar. It's actually a mutation in Northern Europeans that has allowed them to continue to make the lactase enzyme that allows them to digest milk sugar. The rest of us are mostly lactose intolerant. Asians, Jews, Africans, African Americans, Native Americans or First People, they're all missing that lactase enzyme, and we're all suffering. I grew up suffering because of that.
According to a statistic from the World Health Organization, nearly 422 million people in the world have diabetes, and this number is likely to rise. Insulin is a very important hormone that regulates the blood sugar level in the body. Those with type 2 diabetes are resistant to insulin to varying degrees. Surprisingly, milk also can potentially take away our ability to make insulin.
In addition, there's bovine insulin in milk, and bovine insulin can actually be a trigger for type 1 diabetes in children that are genetically susceptible. And that's how, giving your children, going straight from mother's milk to cow's milk can actually increase your risk of type 1 diabetes, which is a very serious type of diabetes where it's an autoimmune condition where you actually have antibodies against the islet cells in your pancreas that make insulin. And that may be because of this is called a genetic mimicry. That your body sees the bovine insulin and makes antibodies against it.
Normally after a meal, carbohydrates in foods such as bread, spaghetti, potatoes, etc. are broken down into glucose, which then enters the bloodstream. In response to a rise of glucose in the blood, insulin is produced by the pancreas so that glucose can be taken up by cells within the body for energy to do their work. When cells have enough glucose, excess amounts will then be stored in the liver in the form of glycogen for later use. However, when the body makes antibodies against its own cells that are responsible for making insulin, glucose can no longer be carried into the cells. As a result, the level of glucose will rise, thus causing a high blood sugar level. Prolonged elevated levels can lead to nerve, blood vessel, and/or kidney damage, as well as other issues like stroke and heart disease. For those with type 1 diabetes, high blood sugar can cause diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA. Without glucose, the body has to get energy in some way. So the liver burns fatty acids and produces ketones as an alternative source of energy. Nevertheless, too many ketones in the blood can lead to DKA, a dangerous condition whereby people develop symptoms such as vomiting, dehydration, rapid heartbeat, etc. When this happens, urgent medical treatment is needed. It is an honor you could join us today to learn about the health risks of dairy products. We thank Dr. Shapiro for speaking with us and her in-depth introduction to the topic. Please join us again next Saturday, July 24th for Dr. Debra Shapiro, Vegan, Champion of Women's Health, Part 3 of 3. For more information about Dr. Shapiro and her work, please visit anewviewoffood.com and pregnancyadvantage.net. Amiable viewers, thank you for your company on today's program. May your love and compassion expand to embrace our whole world.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/HL.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/HL.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/HL.
हमारे कार्यक्रम पेश किए जाते हैं कई भाषाओं में। कृपया देखें suprememastertv.com/schedule और suprememastertv.com/HL.
Vegan, because we don't want dripping blood in our mouth.